Goeienaand, baie welkom by nog 'n heerlike episode van Four Anglers Live. Welcome to our studio, and we would like to say thank you to our sponsors, Gijsbitzer Motors, who is our main sponsor, Campmaster, who sets up our camp around us here, and Orion Audio Visual, that makes sure that we've got all the technology in the studio. Nou ja, vanaand kyk ons na 'n paar hele klompie interessante goed. Ons is so 'n bietjie op die kampioenskappe en tegniese kant van die kampioenskappe hierdie keer. Plus nog 'n paar ander goed. Ons gesels met Jason Prinsloo, daaronder uit die OP se wêreld. Hulle was die kampioene by die SA's vir Carp Champion. We're also going to chat to him about how exactly they went about, what science they applied, and how they won individual plus the team event. Excellent performance. Dan gaan ons 'n bietjie kyk na die onder 25 feeder wêreldkampioenskappe, hoe ons span gedoen het in Hongarye en wat het die Hongare gedoen wat gewen het. Baie interessant oor presies wat se mentaliteit hierdie ouens het en hoekom hulle sulke goeie hengelaars is. So ons gaan 'n bietjie daarin loop. Dan is daar natuurlik ons lesers, so julle moet kyk wat sê ons stywe lesers. Shamaine gaan 'n bietjie met hulle gesels en sy brag so 'n bietjie met hulle vangste. I always say, when you want a lot of information, watch the reader's catches. That's where you have to read between the lines, see what they catch, where they go, etc. Dan is daar natuurlik ook 'n paar kamperingswenke van Pieter van Conqueror. Ons gaan sien wat sê hy vir ons oor chargers. Ons kuier by nog 'n retailer saam met Gilbert. Gilbert is on the Hobo tour and he brings us yet another interesting retailer, and you have to answer a question to win 2 R500 vouchers. Dan is daar natuurlik 'n paar kompetisies waarvoor ons pryse weggee, soos wat julle sien hier voor my. Ons gaan nou hierdie prysies weggee, plus nog 2 wenners aankondig wat ook in vorige uitgawes pryse gewen het. So, kuier nou lekker saam met ons en ons kyk eers na waar jy kan gaan hengel in die volgende paar maande. Maak seker jy boek vinnig. Al hierdie inligting gaan julle weer later kan sien en julle sal kan by elke een van hulle bietjie gaan stilstaan en kyk waar moet jy gaan boek. Groot pryse om te wen in die volgende paar maande se hengelkompetisie. So, geniet hierdie episode saam met ons vanaand. If you're a fan of St. Lucia, there are a few more dates to save. And in October the 4th to the 6th, there's a 12 by 12 species competition, all taking place in St. Lucia. If a giant tarpon is on your bucket list, this is a trip that you should not miss. There are 2 different dates, one in September and one in October, for 7 full fishing days in Costa Rica. Now you can either do the fly fishing thing or you can do spinning or bait fishing. Contact Frontier Fly Fishing and get your place secured now for one of these 2 dates. Limited space available. As jy lief is vir baberhengel en veral in die Valdam, dan is hierdie kompetisie net vir jou. Op die 9de November vind die Valdam Monster plaas. Dit is slegs boothengel. Dit word deur Valdam Hengelklub gereël as 'n fondsinsameling. Jy kan 'n hele paar mooi pryse wen, onder andere 'n eerste plek van R10,000. Daar's nog 'n paar pryse wat moet bevestig word, maar jy kan so lank al boek by Kobus of by Jaco. Daar gaan 2 plekke wees waar jy kan registreer in launch. Die een is by die Vaal Marina en die ander een is by Denysville. So maak seker jy bespreek nou. Cast for a Cause is 'n liefdadigheidskompetisie aangebied deur Big Fellow Outfitters ten bate van Bethany Kinderhuis. Dit word gehou by Van Driels Hengel by die Valdam. En daar is groot pryse om te wen. Vir die swaarste karp, swaarste baber, as ook die swaarste sak. Talle ander pryse is ook beskikbaar. Hengel is van 7:30 tot 3:00 en die prysuitdeling is om 4:00. Die inskrywing is R300 per persoon en die sluitingsdatum is die 30ste September. Kontak gerus vir Hardes by 071 440 2412. En kom maak 'n verskil. Mehansie hengeloord by die Valdam is baie gewild en op die 26ste Oktober bied Sonneveld Akademie 'n heerlike kompetisie daaraan. Dis R300 per pen vir 2 hengelaars en oortfooie is nie daarbey ingesluit nie. Daar kan natuurlik oornaggeriewe gereël word by Mianzi self en daar is pryse vir seniors en vir juniors. Lekker hengel! The Mercury Mallards OET Bill and Gamefish Tournament entries are now open. The tournament takes place from the 4th to the 8th of November. Whether you are an avid angler or just love the thrill of the deep sea, this prestigious competition is your chance to shine. Visit mpangling.co.za to sign up and secure your spot in this exciting event. The Mercury Mallards OET Bill and Gamefish Tournament is the pinnacle of the deep sea fishing in South Africa, and you won't want to miss out. For more details, check out the official Mercury Mallards OET Bill and Gamefish Tournament Facebook page. Tight lines and happy fishing. February month is Tigerfish month, and on the 20th to the 23rd of February 2025, there is a beautiful fundraiser at Pongola Poor Dam. It is called the JR 100. This is in support of Jan Renier, little JR's illness. This invitation will only cost you R4,000. This entry fee will get you accommodation, 2 days fishing with boat packs, a prize giving, breakfast before departure on the Sunday, a free t-shirt and a goodie bag at entry. You can win R50,000 cash, 25 for the second prize, 15 for the third prize, and 10,000 for the fourth prize. There's limited accommodation, and there's also boats available for hire. So enter now by calling this number. Maartmaand by Loskopdam is Kurpermaand. Jy kan R50,000 wen as jy die grootste kurper vang op die 8ste Maart 2025 by Loskop. Daar is ook 'n geleentheid om te kompeteer vir die grootste swartbaars vir R20,000. Die eerste span per boot kan ek natuurlik R5,000 wen. Daar is baie gelukkige trekkings en die inweeg begin al 1 uur tot en met 4 uur. Skryf nou in.
Baie welkom aan al ons lesers. Hierdie is julle spasie waar vangste gedeel word. Vangste wat julle vang en na ons toe stuur. Ek sit hier by Loskopdam op 'n boot en dis waar ek nou gedink het om gou 'n paar ander vangste met julle te deel. Hier volg 'n paar. Hier's ek met 'n karp uit Loskopdam gevang tydens die Karbonanza en ook Jaco met sy vangs. Ons het daai vis geweeg en dit was tussen 7 uur en 11 uur wat ons vis gevang het. Toe het hy 4,1 geweeg. Die ander kant van my gesig is hoe ons boot gesleep word. Ons het eers met ons sleepmotor gery teen 1 tot 3 km per uur. Ons het by die kabel gestaan en Forever Resort is 'n hele paar kilometer verder. Wel, 4 ure later kon ons visse inweeg en dit het baie gewig verloor, want ons het hulle nie mooi versorg nie. Hulle is op die dek gelos, sonder om eintlik in die hatch te kon wees met water. Dom van ons lesse geleer. Hiermee volg nog lesers se visse. Welana Oosthuizen van Ratel Online neem gereeld deel aan hengelkompetisies. Hier staan sy met 'n 610 mm tiervis uit Pongola Poordam gevang. Dis nou Josini meer, soos ons dit ken ook. Lyk of die tiervisse daar net groter en groter raak. Sy was saam met die tiervisjagter Philip van Wyk van Tiger, Hunter, Tours en Safaris. Altyd 'n wenner om 'n hengelgids te gebruik, want hulle vat jou waar die visse is. Hier is nou 'n oulike visvangkompetisie waarin Divan Badenhorst deelgeneem het. Die inskrywinggeld was R10 vir die Chicken Run sosiale kompetisie vir juniors. Hy stap toe weg met 'n groot geslagte hoender as prys vir sy 19,2 kg mosselkraker. Nou Ramsgate toe. Willie Koekemoer het sy persoonlike beste bronsbriem, dis 'n bruin hottentot, daar gevang. Sy aas was 'n pink prawn. Here is Stefan Hay with his sailfish caught in Mozambique, with skipper Nick van Sail on the right. 4 vriendinne, Nikita Koetser, Susan van der Merwe, Eliska Smit en Marita van der Heever, het saam vanaf die boot Stella met skipper Johan Kombrink by St. Lucia gaan diepsee visvang. Hier is Eliska ook met 'n mooi koningingvis vanaf die boot Stella gevang, en daardie vis is weer vrygelaat. Johan en Zani Welvermoed van Polokwane het die onlangse Carbonanza saamgeniet deur dit op Facebook dop te hou. Kort daarna het hulle die boot gepak en self so gemaak. Zani het 'n kurper van 1,3 kg gevang en weer vrygelaat. Dis haar persoonlike beste wat sy met slangwurms gevang het, superkaas, mieliebom en geen dip. Manlief Johan wys een van sy karpvangste. Massey Hunt caught this 90 cm giant trevally off the Mozambique coast. What a nice catch. Well done, Massey. Terug by die Carbonanza by Loskopdam. Junior A.J. Papenfoes staan hier met een van hul karpvangste en broer Ruben langs hom op die boot. Ruben het 'n spielkarp ook gevang. A.J. het die 5de plek verower by die Carbonanza en R5000 daarmee losgeslaan. Catches from Jeffreys Bay with Ham Garrick guided fishing tours. Rochelle Smith caught a 98 cm steenbras, or as I call it at the coast, a stoomtrein, using prawn as bait. Also, Peter, using the same bait, caught a 77 cm steenbras. As hy nou ons by Margaret Pier, Talent Badenhorst het die 11, of sal ons dit noem 'n shad soos baie dit ken ook, gevang met lewendige aastrop wat 'n mallet opgehaat het om leervis te vang. Sy het ook haar personal best mallet daar gevang met sardiens op 'n malletstrop wat lekker beklei het. Die leervis het manlief Piet Haai of Piet Vis soos hy genoem word, ook met 'n mallet gevang. Dan by Uvonga Pier, Taleen het die bronsbriem gevang met prons wat ook 'n lekker beklei was. Hoe gelukkig is julle? Julle is beide wenners van elkeen 'n stywe-lyne hemp. Baie geluk. Dis nou al vir eers. Ek sien uit na jou vangste. Stuur dit na lesers@vooranglers.co.za of stywelyne@stywelyne.net. Tot 'n volgende keer.
Dit is altyd lekker om pryse weg te gee en so bietjie later in die program gee ons vir ons getroue For Anglers subscribers maandeliks en jaarliks elkeen 'n prysie weg. So as jy 'n betaalde lid is van For Anglers se membership, dan is jy natuurlik in die trekking om vanaand een van hierdie 2 prysies te wen. Iets wat skaap vir ons gee en iets wat jumbo vir ons gee. So, hou aan, ons gaan hierdie nou weggee, maar vereers het ons 2 ander wenners. So rukkie terug het ons 'n mooi advertensie in die hengelkalender gehardloop oor 'n Zambesi trip wat jy kon wen. Jy moes 'n kaartjie gekoop het van R100. En daar is toe 'n persoon wat hierdie kaartjie gekoop het. Sy naam is Willie Fourie en hy het daardie tripie gewen. Hy was op Zambesi toe en ons wys nou gou vir julle 'n paar van die foto's wat hy daar by daai pragtige lodge van die visse wat hulle gevang het. Hulle het in die babers ingeklim en natuurlik 'n paar tiervisse en heerlik gekuier, wild gesien en alles op die pragtige Zambesi rivier. So kom ons kyk 'n bietjie wat het Willie hulle daar gedoen en baie geluk Willie met hierdie prys wat jy gewen het. Baie dankie ook aan SA Jagters wat daardie kompetisie aangebied het en met ons hande gevat het om ook 'n prysie te kon weggee vir Willie. Kom ons kyk hoe lyk sy visse. Dan het ons 'n heerlike kompetisie gehardloop ter fondsinsameling van Jessica wat by die wêreldkampioenskappe was. Natuurlik ook goed gehengel daar, 5de plek op haar sone, beste vir die span op die tweede dag. Baie goeie prestasie en dis natuurlik moontlik gemaak deur julle wat kaartjies gekoop het. En sy het vir Gert Loubser sy pragtige hengelkas gaan oorhandig en hier is 'n stukkie video daarvan.
Hey julle, ek staan hier saam met hom Gert Loubser. Gert het hierdie viskas gewen.
Wonderlike kas.
Ja, dit is deel van my nootjie vir Hongarye. Nou ons is terug. Ek het so effens van verkoue. Maar ek wil net graag dankie sê vir almal wat betrokke was met hierdie wat dit moontlik gemaak het. Oom Soutie wat die kas vir ons gebou het, oom Skalk wat hom vir ons vol gemaak het en dan natuurlik Fernand wat ook 'n paar ekstra goedjies bygesit het. Maar oom, dankie vir ons ondersteuning.
Baie dankie.
Geniet hom.
So bly ons kan help. So bly ons kan help. Daar's hy. Sê maar net volgende keer.
Yes.
Daar's hy.
Well, we are sitting here with the 2024 SA Carp Champion. And not only on an individual or a pair basis, but also as a province. Jason Prinsloo down from the EP. Congratulations on an excellent performance for you guys, you and Potty on your peg, and to your team entirely, walking away with all the gold.
Thank you so much, Werner. Yeah, what a pleasure to be here, and what a week we experienced. Jeez, it was a real team effort.
So we are going to talk about two things. We're going to have two different sections. The first one, we're going to talk about your performance on the peg itself, because you guys took obviously the zone and then the individual performance. But what was significant is that in terms of your back weight, you were almost untouchable. Nobody got close. Just share with our viewers, what did you weigh and how many fish that was?
So we caught 250 fish that weighed at a bag mass of just short of 713 kilograms. Yeah, it was incredible. We started from first cast, from 15 minutes in. We landed our first fish, and it just never stopped, which is not normal. We really were blessed this time.
I thought you planned it all to be like that. I thought that's how you envisaged it.
Jeez, I tell you what, we got to the first night sleeping patterns, and boy, that was out the window. We planned to sleep 3 hours on the first night. I looked at Porty and said, Ports, I don't know what we're going to do yet. I know the fish are biting. It was past my time to go and sleep, and we had to recalculate very quickly. I think this was an essay of recalculations all the way, of where, when, we slept when we don't normally sleep. We knew we had to sleep to keep the performance going. But I mean, Porty threw the first fish rock. So I normally throw the first two long ones past 150, and then Porty, plays the middle game. And his first one is 105, and from there we just never looked back. He nailed the first fish in its mouth, and the rest is history, I suppose.
Now, in terms of when you got to the water, you obviously had a plan. So you said, okay, this is how we were going to start. So what was that you put on the table for yourself? What was that first 6 hours? What was your intention?
Okay, so the intention was, so I just want to go back a little bit. Obviously now the marker float and plotting your swim has become quite a difficult thing, because you weren't able to do it prior to the tournament start at 10. So we had the plan that we're going to throw the marker float, and we were going to pull it down to the ground and leave it until we had time and we had thrown our feed in and all of that. Our number one game plan in terms of fishing was to fish as light as possible, number one, and find where the fish were in terms of distance. So that was number one plan. And like I said, Porty found a 105 mark, and I think we hit about 3 in the first 45 minutes on that. And I got one at over 150. So, a dream setup. We had it similar in the Champ of Champs. So Porty and I nailed the very first. He got it at 125 at Verlatenkraal. This time he got it at 1. So he seems to be my lucky charm at the moment. And again, moving back to the feed, we were going to feed as fine as possible, give them nothing to eat, and just try and, you know, put the feed in the column, and hopefully they, you know, it triggered them, which it seriously did. Yeah.
When you started and you put the marker float out, what was the distance, or no, rather the depth? What was the depth that you were going to look for before you hit that magic mark?
So I normally like to look for 2 spots on the swim, generally one around 6 meters, and then you try and find the drop off in the front. So, I mean, it was like absolute. I threw the marker float at 125, and at about 95, we found 5.8 meters of water. That A zone, I can see why so many people catch such nice bags there, is because you basically have a drop off in the front, and it just plateaus by, you know, like 100 mils all the way out. And it was a nice area to fish. I normally sit, for the last 4 years, I've sat in the C zone, which is, you know, Christo and Saki, we had to advise them quite hard in that, because it really is a challenging zone, and we got the best zone, in my opinion. So we found at 9,500, we found the best place where we believe to feed, and that just worked from the start.
Okay, but now, if I understand it correctly, you put in the marker float, you didn't do the plumbing, you put a cast out, you started catching.
Yeah,
Without
absolutely. So
anything.
So our first feed, we just threw in as far as I could, and then basically started plumbing. So by the time we had 4 fish, we still hadn't finished pulling 1 line yet. Because we were in the fish, we only pulled the 1 line to see where, and it became one of confirming where we wanted the long spot, and the second one was how short we had to feed the short spot.
What was that?
It was between 30 and 35 meters is where it was a 1.5 meter drop.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I like to sling. You know, the spoon and all of that works really nicely, but I like to sling, and slinging at 35 is an art. It's not as easy as it looks. And the 100-meter sling is pretty straightforward, but the 95 sling, but the 35 sling is quite tough.
Okay, so where did you then start that 105? Was that then the long one, where you actually planned the long one to be further, or what did it pan out in terms of catching fish? What were your distances that you caught?
So we started with 2 rods over 150. That was my 2 rods. We got a couple of fish on those, but it lay quite a lot longer than that 105 to 115 range. So, I mean, it must have looked quite nuts, because I was too worried to mark the lines, because I didn't know where the depths were going to go to. So Porty and I literally measured out every time we caught a fish. So we got 14 fish on the first day, and we literally went and measured to make sure that we were on point. We didn't leave it to chance. Only once we had really started getting into the fish, we marked our lines, and then we started fishing on the mark. I mean, again, one of those things, you normally have a rod on the first day and you sort of catch a few, 3 or 4 fish. This time we had to be quite diligent in terms of going to make sure we measured it, put in the effort, because if you mark your lines too early, you've got too many marks on the reel, and you know, when you get tired, it becomes one of those where, shit, did I hit the right mark? Did I miss it? So we took the diligent route, and we went and literally measured every rod. You know, our performance, if I had to sum it up in one word, was we strive for efficiency, and we put in so much effort that that was our game. Put in effort and go for it.
Okay, so now let's just consolidate on that. So that 105-meter line, which was like 6 meters type of a thing, that's what you're talking. That was the one spot. And then you also decided to do that first drop off. How many fish did you catch there?
We didn't. So once the fish were going on the long spot, we most probably only caught 10 fish on the short drop. But we always left it as an insurance in case the backdrop disappeared. And I would say we put 80% of our feed on the long spot. I can tell you I've got sore body parts still to today. So we put most of our feed in at the long spot, just purely because the fish played that, they didn't move, they just stayed there.
Yeah.
And so we fed a lot at that back spot.
At that 105?
95 actually.
Okay.
So we fished at 105 and we fed at 95.
Okay.
So there was about I've got 100 mil lines on my marker rod. So that's how I can tell the difference in terms of and it literally was just a fall off of 100 mils per 10 meters or so.
Okay, so it's a slow drop. So did you ever fish that 95 as well, or did you stay behind it for the bigger fish?
So we definitely, the nice thing for us was we fished 85, 95, 105, 110, 150. We literally played within the margin, in the feed lines.
Yes.
And that was where we had our most success. So sometimes they actually were on the inside of the feed all the way through to 115, I would say was the most, between 85 and 115.
Okay, what did you put in as feed on that 95?
So I've fed a lot of soft feed, a lot. We went through a lot of bowline feed. We cooked particles, we put tiger nuts, peanuts. I don't feed chickpeas because I use them as hook baits. We used maize and then hemp and all soft feed. I only fed 3 kilos of hard balls the whole tournament.
Okay, good. Now let's move down to the business end of the stick. We'll put up a picture now of one of the presentations that you had, and that's this one, the bottom bait. What is that, and why?
So that's a chickpea. We try and fish baits that are neutrally buoyant and bottom baits. It's no secret that the EP fishes with chickpeas of different flavors. So the flavor, to be honest, didn't make as hell of a difference as where the bait was. So we fished the bottom bait, and then we fished one that was neutrally buoyant.
In the PVA,
and that was what we played around with that a lot.
In the PVA bag, what was special?
So bowline feed. There was nothing special. This is the hardest part. People have been asking me, what did you do different this year, or what was your secret? There's 1 or 2 little things where we've innovated a lot, but to be honest with you, it was just the effort, and we practiced before we did. It was just plain bowline that we stumped on the peg, and yes, it worked. I can't even describe it. It's
okay,
what we normally do.
This picture, the one of the floating bait, or the nutrient buoyant one that picked up. Tell us about this one.
Okay, so the bait basically is a punched tiger nut, 8 mils. Sometimes we tried a 6 mil bait when it was punched tiger. We used different color sarters. It played an important role through the day, depending on what time. So we liked the white, yellow, black, and red were our 4 colors. And again, we were just diligent. When the fish came on, we paid particular thing to the color of the sarter. The flavor for me was not as important as the smaller nitty-gritty things. What color, often I would run to Potty when he landed the fish and say, what was the color of the sarter? Because we would have put all 4 out the minute it goes quiet, and then you start working towards all 4 rods with the same color sarter. And that was really what we did.
And was there a rule of thumb that said white in the mornings, black in the afternoons, or anything like that you could pick up?
Funny enough, normally, you look in the day and the night and there's distinct colors. We didn't find that in terms of this was it. The nighttime colors, like a red for me would be a nighttime color, that ran into the day and sometimes through the whole day. So in terms of that, we just paid diligence to, okay, this is what's biting now. We lived in the here and now. This is what's biting now. The years that we've been fishing says this is the color, but it's not like that this time. and we worked on that principle.
Last question on the individual performance. Did you lose any or many fish?
We lost a few in the late part of the game. I think that was more so out of body fatigue. And yeah, I mean, Porty and I, when we were driving back from the Champ of Champs, we've got a hell of a 9-hour drive, and we've got lots, a little to talk about. So we made a commitment to each other on the drive back from Verlatenkraal that we were going to be in the best shape that we could be in 8 weeks' time. And we gymmed. I mean, I gymmed every single night for 8 weeks. Porty was running. We were sending videos of each other gymming to inspire each other, to make sure that we were in the best shape we could be. And I think that if anything, we need to start a little bit earlier, because the last few hours, you start losing a few fish, and I think that's where our efficiency in that sort of moved away a little bit. But I mean, again, from a perfect platform, it's easy to make these things, but we definitely put in a lot of effort for this.
Okay, we're going to come back a little bit later, and then we're going to talk about your team performance.
Awesome, thank you.
Nou, ons het lekker gaan kuier in Hongarije. Dis natuurlik baie harde werk, en ek is ongelooflik trots op hierdie onder 25 span wat in my oë uitsonderlik goed gedoen het. Nou, ons het op die eerste dag het een van ons skrywers wat angling of fishing on a student budget skryf, Stefan Henop, het uitsonderlik goed gedoen. Hy het die eerste plek in sy sone gekry, wat natuurlik ook vir daardie dag 'n derde plek algeheel natuurlik op die kampioenskappe was. Ons het vinnig met hom gaan gesels oor wat het hy gedoen en hoe het hy presteer. Dan het ons 'n bietjie rondgeloop die volgende dag en 'n paar ander insetsels gekry wat ons vir julle gaan wys. En dan het ons gaan gesels met die hengelaar van Hongarije, Aaron, wat derde plek overall was. Die eerste dag was sy eerste overall, en ons het bietjie met hom gaan gesels oor presies wat was hulle benadering, en 'n baie goeie insigte gekry daar. En dan het ek vlugtig gesels met Pieter Bakko, wat op die einde van die dag die wêreldkampioen was. Nou, hierdie ouetjie is nog nie 25 nie. Hy het alreeds 11 FIPS medaljes onder sy kraag. Hy het die onder 25 natuurlik gewen as wêreldkampioen, en hy het ook reeds 2 keer die feeder freestyle method feeder senior kampioenskappe as Victor Ledorm gewen. So hier is 'n uitsonderlike hengelaar, en luister 'n bietjie na presies wat sê hy. So kom ons gaan kyk wat het daar gebeur in Hongarije by Ziget. Nou ja, ons is by die wêreldkampioenskappe in Hongarije, en dit is die onder 25 feeder wêreldkampioenskap. Ons is hier by A-zone, by die onder 25, en ons staan hier by Stefan Henop. Hy het vandag sy sone gewen met meer as 30 kg se vis, en dit was 'n oortuigende wen. Tweede in die sone was 27 kg, en ek gaan gou met hom gesels oor wat het hy gedoen. Stefan, hoe voel jy oor hierdie prestasie van vandag?
Jo, kyk, om het te beskryf, dis heeltemal iets anders as om op 'n SA's byvoorbeeld 'n sone te wen, of op 'n gewone oeverkompetisie in Suid-Afrika. Hier kompeteer mense teen die beste van die beste in die wêreld, en om 'n sone te kan wen is 'n absolute voorreg en 'n eer, en baie harde werk. So nee, ek het amper nie eens woorde nie.
Stefan, hardloop gou deur die span se plan en jou uitvoering van die plan. Hoe het julle omgehengel en wat het julle gedoen?
So ons na die venue kyk waar ons nou vandag hengel. Ons het hier op so ongeveer 30 meter, noem ons maar, ons sê die 30 meter. Daar's 'n kabel wat hier deurloop voor ons, en jy kan nou nie verder hengel oor die kabel wat daar lê. So my plan was om so 'n meter van die kabel af te hengel, en dan 'n korter lyn was op so 15 meter gewees. En omdat die tempo van die vis hier so geweldig is, ons het nou nie gewone karps soos in Suid-Afrika, ons het karp, ons het karassie, ons het skimmers, en dan sulke ander klein babertjies wat ons 'n mooi Afrikaanse woord voor gedoop het. Maar die plan wat ons hier so uitgevoer het, was om ongeveer 3 minute jou stok te laat lê op jou dieper kol of op 'n kol, en dan na 3 goeie te wissel, te voer en te wissel. So dit is heeltyd, kon sê elke 9 minute voer jy 'n feeder op 'n kol, dan hengel jy op die ander kol. As jy daar klaar gehengel het, dan voer jy weer daar en jy hengel op die ander kol. En ek het hom so gewissel in die oggendtye, was ek redelik voor in die sone gewees. Daarna het ek bietjie afgeslek. Wat ek toe begin het om te doen, is ek het bietjie van die plan af gewyk. In terme daarvan, ek het aan my diep lyn voer, maar ek het aangehou hengel op my naderlyn. Hy was meer produktief gewees as my dieper lyn. En so kon ek toe begin inhaal met die mense wat meer vis gehad as ek deur om karassie en skimmers te vang. Van daar af die laaste uur het ek omtrent meer agtergewerk waar ek weer groter karpe gekry het. Maar die belangrikste vir my was om die hele tyd elke 9 minute ten minste op een van my kolle te voer. En dit is maar
Wat het julle gevoer en wat het jy op die hoek gehengel?
So 90% van ons voer bestaan uit mieliepitte, gewone skoon mieliepitte. Dan so ander swart voer van die Hongare wat hulle hierso gebruik van Thomas Walter. Dit het as die basis wat ek in my cage gebruik het en dan dooie maggots, sticky maggots en dan gewone maggots wat ons as hoekas gebruik. Dan wissel ek maar af tussen 'n pit en 'n maggot.
Stefan, well done en baie geluk.
Dankie jou.
Okay, ons is hier by Jessica se pen. Met 14 vis. Ons kyk.
Okay. Check 0.
Okay, dan maak seker hy is vir 0. Dop hom om ja.
Okay, check.
Wait.
Once.
Just pick it up for me a bit, please. Perfect, thank you.
Yes, well done.
15,600. We back it.
15 terug in die sak. Back. Jessica, well done. Mooi sak vis, 15.6. Okay, nou is ons by Hongarije. Op pen 12. En nou weet waar ons staan. Met 'n groot sak vis, het 2 sakke. Okay, it's Aaron. Hungary, yesterday he took a first, today will not be a first. French at the end will have 33 kilos, this will not be 33. $22 kilos. 22 kilos in the one bag. You have the other bag as well, Aaron?
No.
Okay, that was 22 kilos. We are with Aaron from Hungary. Yesterday he had a number 1 overall. He was the leader, and today he had a good day. We are waiting for the results. So the French guy at the end has 22 kilos. Aaron thinks he's got around 21, 22. So maybe we are talking to the world champion. Otherwise, we might talk to somebody close to the podium. Aaron, tell us what you guys did.
We fish a lot at this venue, so we love Sagad. It's all equal, and we fish for carp, brutal weights. Sometimes we feed with corn, only with corn, and we use sticky mag or this chopped corn in the feeder.
Very finely chopped. What do you have with it?
I just put it in the feeder. Nothing more or less. Or sticky mag in the feeder. 2 or 3 dead maggots for hook bait, or one fine piece of corn. So that's what we do. Sagad is always about feeding, to find the right time and the right amount of feeding. So that was the key for the team, or for the individual good places.
Can you show us when you are doing the feeding in between? What would it look like? Just show me the cage that you are using.
It looks with 3 different cages. So we feed with 3 different cages. This one is the biggest. We put the heavy baiting in, or if we have 50 or 60 kilos, or we have to catch them a lot, we feed with it. Or in summer, this was my mostly used feeder actually. So it's like third of the big cage, and this was in the middle. So that's what we use.
Okay,
we
when you do the heavy feeding or the feeding in between, what do you put inside that cage?
Only corn, regular corn, or some corn with TTX on. It sticks more into the feeder, so you don't have to push the corn so hard.
Okay, so it's just corn with TTX.
Yep, only.
Okay, and then when you prepare the rig for catching the fish, what does it look like?
It looks like this. So there's a little tube that the feeder is on. It's for one tangle only. There is the swivel and bead and 50 centimeters of hook length, or 15 or 13 sometimes. And this one is the hook. It's a size 16 one, so not the biggest hook that you have ever seen.
Okay, and this piece here, explain to us what that is.
What's a feeder gum?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a feeder gum. It helps us playing the fish, especially near the net, and we have to net it.
Okay, now can you make it up as if you would be casting? Let me see what it looks like. Firstly, the hook bait.
Yep. Today was mainly 3 or 4 dead maggots, mainly 3. Yesterday was only corn, so we caught fish only with corn.
Okay, but that's live maggots.
Yep, but if you go like this on your trousers, it will be dead in seconds.
Okay, so it's a live dead maggot.
Yep, but if you see,
I see.
it doesn't move.
Yeah. Okay, and then in the cage?
Yep, and we fill the cage with chopped corn or with sticky mag.
That chopped corn, does it also have a bit of
Yep.
feed in?
To stick in the feeder better.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay. Well done. Let's see what the results bring.
Thank you.
So we'll be here when they weigh your bag.
Yep. Thank you.
That is the sticky maggot that they use. They call it 50-50, 50 red, 50 white, and it's not very sticky. It's a bit loose.
It's a bit loose. Yeah.
Why is it a bit loose?
We use both ways. So we use a thicker one and a looser one. But we prefer always a looser one. It's easier to catch fish fast with it. So that's why it doesn't stick more.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
We are with Peter Baku. Peter Baku is the world champion of 2024. In South Africa, we also know that he was the world champion. So, Peter, how many times in feeder fishing have you been world champion?
I don't know how many feeder fishing world championship do I have, but maybe this is my 12 gold medal from FIPSAD.
Yes, excellent. Well done.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
It's incredible. I searched the words, but I didn't find. So in Hungary, in our crowd behind me, it's amazing.
Incredible. One thing that you think was the biggest success for this venue, what was the one technical thing that was the most important?
The cast.
The cast?
The accurate, yeah, of course.
Accuracy.
Yes, on the balls, because this is everything for carp fishing in this venue, because everybody can cast 30 meter, but the accuracy is it's that thing what is really matter.
In terms of accuracy, how big do you think the area must be where you must cast in?
Maximum 50 centimeters.
50 centimeters.
Maximum. We tried many times for buckets on 30 meter, and maybe so I can cast 10 times per 10 in this bucket.
10 out of 10?
Yes.
So at 30 meters you must be inside the bucket 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's what it takes to be a world champion.
I think yes.
I am just going to show our viewers what bucket we're talking about. And it's not a big bucket.
Yeah. 50 centimeters.
50 centimeters.
Yeah.
You have to be accurate to 50 centimeters to be a world champion at 30 meters.
If
easy.
you want to see, maybe before the podium, I can show you.
Thank you, Peter, and well done.
Thank you very much.
Gilbert Foxcroft is running around Gauteng at the moment on his hobo tour, and he popped into yet another quite awesome retailer. I've actually never seen this place, but look at this. Now, Peter Potgieter has also given 2 500 vouchers for the 2 lucky winners that will have, firstly, the answer correct, and secondly, would have entered. Now, make sure you save this number. This is the WhatsApp number for 4 Anglers. And at the end of this insert by Gilbert, you let us know where exactly Outerden is. Either the shopping centre or, well, let's say the town. So let us know exactly where it is, and you can win one of 2 500 vouchers. Now remember the agreement between me and you guys. If you win 500 you go there and you spend another 500. Come on, be decent. And but when you walk into that store, you will just love it. So let's have a look at what it looks like in Peter's shop, the Outer Den.
And we're here at the Outer Den in Krugersdorp. And that guy, we love that guy. We love this guy, but this guy is here.
How's it, guys? We're at the Outer Den in Krugersdorp. Come see a lovely shop. Obviously, they specialize in a lot of call it glam camping, glamping. So very nice gas equipment. They've got bait boats, and then obviously they've got a fair amount of saltwater stuff, bass stuff. But the saltwater stuff is pretty much for those holiday makers. So the ready-made traces.
And the holiday season is fast coming up, right?
It's very close. I mean, you know, the matrics are writing end exams now in the next 2 weeks. Or it starts in the next 2 weeks. And then before you know it, you know, it's holiday season.
Right.
So let's just check here.
Hey, what's that?
Come look here. So they've got a nice comprehensive range of quarter products. They also stock a couple of other brands, but they've got lots of Daiwa rods, Daiwa reels, Daiwa J braids. They stock obviously the bank angling stuff. They've got the Daiwa J braids. They also have some quarter luggage as well. But let's have a look at some of the others. One of my all-time favorites. This is the smaller version of what I've got. I've got the large. This is the medium frame carryall, and it's so nice and compact. But the nice thing is the feet makes it stand off the ground, and it doesn't matter how you put it down. The feet nicely swivel, so you don't end up one sitting on the side. Obviously, this is Chart. Let's introduce Chart. Chart is an old hand in the Krugersdorp area when it comes to fishing tackle, but he also repairs rods and he also services reels. So if you do need your rod fixed up, if you need new guides on, if you need your reel serviced, this man does it all. He's the A to Z when it comes to a fishing tackle shop.
And there's so many people reaching out where can they service their reels, right?
Yes.
Chart, you can sort them out with that?
Yes, anything you need to help you. Custom built rods also, repair.
The nice thing is the Kingfisher sells a comprehensive range of bearings, washers and spares. So instead of sending the reel to the Kingfisher, which you can do, it's easier. Bring it here, Chart will examine it and tell you what is necessary, and he'll send you to the dross across the road. You can have a cappuccino or a beer while he sorts out your reel.
That sounds like
It's
a bargain.
win-win. It's a win-win. But then obviously, with the Outerdent being an outdoor shop, they also sell a nice range of outdoor stuff. Charcoal things. Bowls and stuff where you can put your meats and stuff in, potjies, bread potjies. They also do paintball guns and bows and all sorts of stuff. So, this is call it a one-stop shop in Krugersdorp. So come and visit the Outerdent.
Prof, is that a Daiwa unhooking mat?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Hey.
They do specimen stuff.
Yeah.
They do
Yeah.
Daiwa rods, Daiwa reels. And obviously, like we just saw, we saw the quarter stuff. And, they've just received these Kingfisher saltwater traces. So there's a big range of these. And like I said earlier on, the holiday season is just around the corner. So, for those holiday guys that don't have the expertise of tying their own rigs, you just come and fetch if you want a cob rig, you get a cob rig. A shad, a quarantine, whatever the case might be, it's all going to be on the shelf.
Ons het 'n verlede episode gesels oor tipe 12V batterye wat beskikbaar is op die mark. Maar hoe gemaak om hom gelaai te? Ons gaan hierdie week net gesels oor 220V laaiers vir jou batterye, natuurlik as jy nou krag beskikbaar het, of natuurlik wanneer jy hom stoor by die huis. Ons is 'n redelike verskeidenheid beskikbaar, van 'n redelike intree vlak 5 ampere tipe laaier na jou top of the range smart laaier wat natuurlik alle batterye kan laai. Dit gaan natuurlik bepaal eerstens wat jou begroting is wat jy wil spandeer en tweedens hoe jy dit gaan wil gebruik. Die belangrike ding om te onthou wat baie mense die fout mee maak is as jy mooi na 'n battery kan kyk, die leeftyd op 'n kamp 12V battery op normale loodserie is gewoonlik so tussen 2 en 4 jaar. As jy baie mooi na dit kyk, het ek al batterye gesien wat tot 10 jaar gehou het, as jy regtig mooi na dit gekyk het. Die groot fout wat mense maak is baie mense sê ook dat jy 'n battery elke nou en dan 'n siklus moet laat hardloop, anders bou hy kristalle op. Dit was waar op ou tegnologie tipe batterye. Jou moderne loodsuurbattery wil altyd op laai wees, omdat deesdae se batterylaaiers intelligent is om hulle self aan en af te sit, so hy sal nie sommer oorlaai nie. As jy jou battery gaan stoor by die huis, maak seker dat hy altyd op laai is. Best om dit eintlik te verduidelik is dat hierdie battery soos 'n blok kaas is. En elke keer wat jy 'n siklus deur die battery hardloop, sny jy 'n stukkie van die kaas af. Jou kaas bly altyd dieselfde, maar daar's net soveel snye dan as jou blok klaar. Maak seker dat hy altyd op laai is. Belê in 'n ordentlike laaier. Hierdie National Luna laaiertjie is 'n 5 ampere laaier. Hy werk baie goed om te stoor by die huis. Hy kan die werk natuurlik vir jou doen ook in die kamp self. Jy gaan net op 'n groter laaier dit natuurlik net vinniger gedoen kry. Dis eintlik maar die lang. Hierdie byvoorbeeld is 'n Victron, is 'n 30 ampere laaier. So hy kan daai werk vir jou aansienlik vinniger gedoen kry ook. Maak seker dat jy jou diertoerusting mooi na kyk en hulle sal mooi na jou kyk vir baie jare om te kom.
Baie dankie aan Kingfisher wat hierdie insetsel vir ons borg. En kom ons gaan hoor wat het OP se span toe gedoen om so oortuigend te wen.
Well, Jason, you had a brilliant performance at your peg, and obviously that went along the bank to the rest of your team as well. But I don't for one moment believe that it was only then that the success was made. There must have been a lot of preparation and quite a big game plan that went into it. So tell us a little bit about that from a team point of view.
Yeah, Werner, thank you. I think that if we're honest, our team is more like a brotherhood than a team. We have full confidence. I sit here with goosebumps because these lads are, every day we're phoning each other, trying to come up with something. How can I do this better? How can I do that better? I mean, we had a brand new peg, Marcus and Patrick, that 4 months ago we had to pull in, and they just were like a sponge. They absorbed everything that we told them. They went and practiced. So basically our team came together and we said, we've been doing this since 2015 with this group of anglers. How do we now take it to the next level? And we got together at a dam called Wriggleswade in just outside East London. And it was a freezing weekend, but we basically allowed everybody input into the game plan. We literally cooked pots. We slung, we marker floated, we did the topography of the land, we did everything in terms of what was needed, with a focus on Marcus and Patrick to get them up to speed, but to not only that, to align our game plan. And so much so that we took a tank, I took my tank with me, and we baited up 3 or 4 different ways of PVA. We baited up 5 or 6 different rigs with different size sponge, bottom baits, to see what it actually does in the water, and to get everybody not only what you're fishing with, but how you can understand what the fish are being presented. And that was the thing. I mean, how many of us there? So I love my tank, and the science behind it, and it was an interesting experience because guys were saying, "Geez, that's why it works," and that. And we basically got totally aligned with each other. From the start, we were all fishing slightly different. And everybody just got to see, geez, this is easy to do, nice to feed. And now I can actually understand why I'm doing it. And like I said to you with Potty and myself, Jimming, I mean, Marcus and Patrick quickly climbed on, got big hammers and were hitting tires to make sure they could sling. And so, geez, what a brotherhood, what a bunch of guys. And we just nailed it from start to end. It was amazing to see.
In terms of that science that you put in, hook selection, how important do you deem hook selection, and how did you get to the selections that you decided on?
So, I mean, I've got a little kitchen scale. It's my wife's. She's could be in trouble, yeah, but yeah, so I weigh all the hooks that we fish with. I make sure that the bait that we put on, or on our peggings individually, make sure that we know exactly what bait we put on what hook, what weight it is, how they match. I want to know exactly the same. If I catch a fish on that, I want to do it the same every single time. I want to know what the weight of the hook does to the hook bait. That's the tank test. And I think that's the important thing, Van, is if you know the science behind it. I mean, Dean Pelser is one of my sort of heroes in terms, and as technical as that man is, he sparked something in me as well to make sure that, yes, I don't know the moon phases and stuff as well as he does, but I wanted to go into the nittier, grittier stuff. And now I've got a teammate, Christo, to be in my teams also, the guys that won last year, him and Saki, is also super technical, and him and I spend hours. I don't know how we still have airtime, but we're basically spending hours saying, this is what we want, this is how we're going to do it. And I think that's where a slight bit of innovation comes in terms of making sure that everybody knows what is happening, when, how. I mean, in terms of our feeding plan, Lawrence, the head of the carp facet, they went and laminated. This is when you put the pots on. This is when you feed. This is how much you feed, where you feed. We prepped ourselves before that tournament exactly where we wanted to be.
Last question on the team performance, and it was excellent, and you guys did very, very well. Were there significant changes throughout the game, the 72 hours, or did it all work out to plan?
Werner, I mean, obviously we had to move around a little bit, but the reality of it all comes in that I've never been in a fishing tournament, and I've been to many. I've never been in a fishing tournament where when something works in the D zone, for instance, and I'm sitting in the A zone, that it works. We literally had a live WhatsApp group, and it was, guys, I tried this, it worked. I'll put it on again, I get goosebumps because I'll put it on my peg, and all of a sudden I'm sparked. My bite tempo is improving to 10 minutes, 15 minutes of fish from 30. And it literally, maybe it was just one of those things. It was written in the stars, I'm not sure, but everything happened on all the pegs. The minute that someone put it on, we're on. This is it. We've just caught, we've weighed 10, we've weighed 12. And that's where I think we had such trust in each other that it's, you didn't even question, you just put it on. This is the bait presentation. This is the dip. Put a bit of something on, and off you go.
Well,
so it was really a team effort.
Congratulations from our side. I could see that there's a number of good things that came out. I'm impressed with the science that you put in, the team preparation, the effort, the fitness. I like the fact that you get to that fitness. Physical fitness really improves your fishing, so that's always important as well. And from our side, congratulations. You guys have done well.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody for the support from our province. Wow, it was really unbelievable.
Wel, nou is dit tyd om baie dankie te sê vir, ek dink, die grootste borge van ons program hier. Natuurlik julle as 4Anglers lede. Daar's 'n maandelikse opsie en daar is 'n jaarlikse opsie. Dit kos jou next to nothing. Heel waarskynlik minder as 'n botteltjie floaties of 'n botteltjie dip. R59 'n maand of natuurlik R599 'n jaar. En op 4Anglers kan jy natuurlik meer as 5500 artikels lees, na hartelus, back issues gaan kyk. In die search bar gaan insit, enige dam, enige strop, enigiets wat jy oor wil inligting hê, en hy sal vir jou al die artikels bring wat met daardie spesifieke topic te doen het. Jy moet net baie spesifiek wees. Nou ja, kom ons gaan kyk wie is ons wenners. Eerstens, maandelikse wenner, en ons kyk wie is ons maandelikse wenner. Ons maandelikse wenner is Jan Vermeulen. Jan Vermeulen, baie geluk met die komplimente van Supercast SVB. Natuurlik, hier is 'n paar interessante botteltjies en 'n extreme sakkie voer. Kry ook 'n lekker Supercast watertjie. Ons stuur dit vir jou met die komplimente van JKJ Express Couriers en hulle lewer dit vir jou af by jou deur. Natuurlik, as enige een van julle wil gebruik maak van JKJ Express Couriers, hulle is ook hengelaars, natuurlik Neville Rudiker en sy span, het ook hengel diep in hulle harte en hulle is ondersteuners van hengel, so kom ons ondersteun hulle. Nou, die jaarlikse wenner, hier is 'n paar DVD's, boetjie, ander interessante prysie en 'n klompie van Jumbo se topverkopers wat hy natuurlik deurgee. Hierso, ek het so 'n paar van hulle wat al klaar mooi toegedraai en weggesteek is en dan natuurlik lipstick en van sy nuutste flouties. Die wenner is Rikus Janse van Rensburg. So Rikus Janse van Rensburg, baie geluk. JKJ Express Couriers gaan natuurlik vir jou hierdie aflewer by jou deur. Nou ja, dan sê ons baie dankie vir ons borge, maar moenie nou al afgaan nie. Gaan kyk gou hierdie interessante kopie wat julle by Gijspitser Motors natuurlik vir 'n oorkeerprys gaan kry. En dan sien ons julle weer oor so 2 weke se tyd. Ons is 'n bietjie op pad. Moet ek nou sê waarheen? Mosambiek? Nee, mag ek nog nie sê nie. Iewerster. Vir hier gaan ons alweer. Ons gaan 'n bietjie kuier. Sien julle oor 2 weke.
Hi, dis François hier en vandag kuier ek weer by Gijspitse Motoring. Dis hulle Feature Friday en kom ons kyk na hierdie Ford Tourneo motor. As jy 'n gesin of 'n familie is met 'n bietjie meer mense en jy wil rondrits, is hierdie die voertuig vir jou. Tourneo hier, Tourneo daar en sien daar. Hier sit ek nou binne in die Ford Tourneo bussie. Soos jy kan sien, baie spasie, 'n 8 sitplek bussie. Nou dis baie lekker veral as jy lank is soos ek. Hier's fantastiese features in hierdie bussie. Aircon, hy het een van daai 3-spieeltjie kameraatjies, so jy kan lekker agter jou sien, al sit die kinders hier agter of skoonma en skoonpa. Wat ook baie lekker is van hierdie bussie is 'n handrat, dis 'n diesel, lekker lig op brandstof, spasie vir jou bene, en selfs 'n aircon hier, as jy agter sit, gaan jy nie warm kry in die warm Suid-Afrika nie. So, besoek Gijspitser Motors as jy in die mark is vir enige voertuig, want hulle het iets vir almal.
Ek love visvang. Want jy weet nie wat gaan gebeur nie. Ek weet nie wat hulle weet nie. Enige oomblik kan daar iets gebeur. As jy daai vliegie so stadig trek en niks gebeur nie, sê jy, wat nou? Toe! Alles verander. Chaos.
This is what I like about fishing. If your partner's next door think they're catching more fish than you and you start out fishing them.
If ons hoekom is jy lief vir hengel?
I love fishing. The excitement when the reel goes. It's wonderful.
Awesome, Monique. Well done, lady.
We love fishing because we beat the boys.